Tonight, you're going to be talking about one of my favorite characters from the Old Testament, David. As you may know, he wrote most of the Psalms and he was a musician, which is probably why he's my favorite, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Tonight, you are going to be studying two chapters, 1 Samuel 16 and 2 Samuel 5. These chapters tell us about how David became king over all Israel. And spoiler alert, hundreds of years after David was king, another king was born from David's line, and we all know his name, Jesus. And just like how Jesus wasn't the person that people expected to be king, David wasn't the person that they expected to be king either. In the Old Testament, there were these guys called prophets, and they served the Lord and communicated God's will. So God would tell them to do all sorts of things. And in tonight's story, God told the prophet Samuel to anoint Israel's next king. So Samuel goes to the family that God told him to go to, and he starts looking for this king. He starts with the most likely candidate, but God tells him no. He even goes so far as to say, the Lord doesn't see things the way that you see them. People judge by the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. God was looking for the son with a heart for him. And Samuel went through 7 of the sons before he found David, who wasn't even brought to Samuel for consideration in the first place because he was the youngest and he was only a shepherd. But ultimately, God was looking for someone who could be the king and shepherd of his people, Israel. So David gets anointed and then he waits because there was already a king on the throne. And his name was Saul, and honestly, he was just not a great king. He was even tormented by evil spirits, and the only thing that would calm him down was when David would come in and play music on the harp for him. So even though David was appointed to be king, it wasn't yet time for him to reign. So he served in King Saul's palace until it was time. And eventually, it was time, and God made a way for David to be king. There's so much more to the story, so I'll let you guys read and study that yourselves. But I want you to remember, God doesn't look at us the way that we look at each other. We look at the outward appearance, but God, He looks at the heart, and He desires for us to be men and women who love Him and have a heart for Him.